Hello and welcome to the Unknown Comics Podcast, episode
6?
I
think this is 6.
Wow.
Or 7.
I think it's 6.
Yeah.
I think it's 6.
Hold on, I've got the YouTube.
You got the YouTube?
You got
So-
the YouTubes on your gigantic iPad?
So we're going to make
Jealous.
that, when we get to like 9, why was 7 afraid of 9? It's 'cause-
We're on episode 6 officially.
Hello again. I'm Brandon, Darren, Chris, and Tanner. We are your hosts.
Tanner.
Your name,
And Tanner.
kind of
Oh, Tanner.
that guy.
the guy that keeps this greasy wheel squeaking. Yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. It's
All
been
12 of you.
It's been an exciting... For now. God.
Actually, we've been having quite a few new
Eeyore.
subscribers. Welcome to
No,
the channel.
actually,
Thank you.
I listen to this one radio station every morning. It's a country station. And I've listened to them for like 10 or 11 years now. They actually just moved back to Amarillo or just got back on air in Amarillo. I don't think they actually live here because I heard them in Mississippi as well when I was coming back from Florida. And they always like, thanks for all 18 listeners. And they've been saying that since like 2001.
Yeah, that's their shtick. That's fun. No, actually, we do want to definitely thank y'all for liking and subscribing all the content that we're putting out on the YouTube. It's growing and it's doing really well, and we want to thank y'all.
I
for
think
that.
we have doubled our subscriptions since at least I started really messing with YouTube here.
Oh, we didn't have any subscribers, did we really? I
We
mean,
had a few. One
few.
I mean, we're up to 160 something now.
No, we're over 170. We broke that today.
Ooh, we've got
Yeah.
like 10 visitors. Yes.
Unknown Gaming Channel's got double digits now.
Well, I know the email, like since you sent the email out today, I've noticed a steady path of subscribers coming in.
Yeah,
So
I hit the email. I hit our Facebook. I sent some stuff to the Illuminati group.
You know, so you figure out how to get
Here's-
it on,
here's the real thing,
Reels
guys.
for Instagram.
there's going to eventually be a time
It's funny we're talking
where
about
there's going to be a
this.
secret gift that's going to be cake. Somehow we're going to give you cake virtually.
Virtual cake.
Virtual
I
cake.
think they're working on some kind of smell-o-vision
What?
already. So.
That's going to be so gross.
No, no.
All right.
Be careful what you watch.
Speaking of random things, let's
Television?
talk about
Yes.
WandaVision.
Let's talk about random things.
Random television.
Yeah, random television
So.
with, and if y'all saw the trailer for tomorrow's
Nope,
episode,
I have not watched
Brendan hasn't watched it.
it basically secures everything I believe is going to happen.
it. Cool.
We're-
Stop
we're-
talking about it.
It's just a trailer, man.
I don't care.
We're going to talk about it because
Okay.
it's important.
No.
It's the extended
We'll talk
trailer.
about it next week when
No.
we watch the episode.
Well, you can talk about theories because that's what we are.
Yes.
Well,
Talk about.
yeah, I mean,
So-
it fits into my theory. So if I talk about my theory, I'm going to we're going to talk about this trailer a little bit, but we'll get there. So
The trailer does nothing.
the trailer does nothing.
They
but
wouldn't
my-
have shown it if it
So
did.
it picks up from the second episode because the first and second episode I didn't watch it last week when y'all talked about it, but man,
We have
Yeah,
not talked
this is
about
our
it yet.
first discuss.
okay. Well, I will tell you, it is that first and second episode was quite the chore to watch. I don't think I enjoyed the first and second episode.
I enjoyed them, but I also kind of like old TV. I think it's funny.
It wasn't even about the old TV. It was just about the way they would transition stuff and the way that they the pacing
Now,
of everything.
Also, something me and Brandon noticed as film people, you could tell what was going through Wanda's head because they changed shooting styles.
Yeah.
So they were shooting it like the old TV shows.
4:3.
But then it was still 4:3.
And the frame rates were different.
But
and
the
everything.
frame rate would change. The camera, the shots would change whenever she kind of realized that something wasn't quite
got,
right.
It got more personal.
Have y'all
as
seen
far as
the
shots go.
theory that basically because she's from Sokovia, that the reason why her whole world is living like this is it's old like reruns that she would watch back in
That would make sense.
back when she lived in Sokovia. And
Yeah, it's comfort TV.
They could do that even without that being a part of Sokovia because I watched old reruns growing up in America.
That's true, but I really do think because I think a lot of people have forgotten because it's been so long since we've had a Marvel movie. It's been 2 years since Endgame, almost year and a half.
And technically released.
So
Spider-Man to be the last one, right?
people
Yeah.
forget. Yeah, Spider-Man's last one. People forget that like Wanda, as soon as Vision died, was poofed away. She went into the ash.
Yeah.
So when she came back to fight in that final battle, she just came back an emotional wreck from losing Vision. She didn't have
Well,
the 5
yeah,
years to cope.
And she kind of let loose on Thanos and would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for an orbital bombardment.
Right.
You know.
But with this, like with the way that they're telling the story, my theory is she has commandeered this town, and she is dealing with her coping mechanism on losing Vision, and she's so powerful that she's brought Vision back for this moment because Vision keeps like having breaks in character and is like, wait a second.
And she's having to edit it. So and I'm with you there that it is definitely her construct and that she's the editor of it. But you remember in episode 2 where she's at the little community meeting thing and somebody's coming on the radio, Wanda, who's doing this to you?
It's
Wanda.
in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
They don't say Wanda. It's
Whatever.
They're not talking to Wanda.
Whoopie freaking do. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But somebody's saying, who's doing this to you? So I think it is her construct. Somebody's manipulating her. And whether that's...
I don't think so. I actually think that because you find out in episode 3. You've watched episode 3, right?
Yeah, we
Right.
watched episode.
You
3.
find that Rambo, what's her name? Monica Rambo.
Geraldine is all you know right now.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
find
rumored she's Monica Rambeau.
she gets kicked out, and she's in a government facility when she gets kicked
Right.
out.
But that's not to say somebody isn't pulling her strings. She's gone crazy before because people have manipulated her in the comics.
Right. In the comics,
Well,
I mean, no more mutants is the biggest thing Scarlet Witch is known
yeah,
for.
Doom was screwing with her the entire time. But
So in the commercials, in the show, the first commercial was something Stark, but the other 2 commercials
Or
have both
Hydra.
been Hydra.
But you got to think, Hydra gave her powers. What if this is some kind of brainwashing that's in the back
don't
of her
know.
mind?
Officially,
the
no.
first one was Stark.
If they gave her her powers.
Everything since has
well,
been Hydra.
Yeah, that's what
they
I-
talked
yeah.
about that in
Civil War.
Ultron.
Ultron, yeah.
That they got their powers. They were the only ones that survived whatever experiments.
Well, still doesn't mean that that's where their powers came from. They've been very vague. I think,
And
their
on
powers
purpose.
came from the X gene,
Yeah.
the Mind Stone.
I think
Well,
they're
have
being
y'all
very,
seen?
very...
Have y'all seen the Photoshop images of Viggo Mortensen? It's Vigo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vigo.
as Magneto.
As Magneto,
think it looks
I
pretty
would
cool.
support that 110% because that looks awesome.
But where I was going with that is Hydra infiltrated Shield. Why can't they infiltrate Sword?
Yeah, that's one theory video I saw that the AIM arm of Hydra is infiltrating Sword.
well,
And that's why that guy looks like a beekeeper because it's kind of harkening back to the AIM costume.
or the sewers are full of bees to keep people out from sneaking underneath, and that was the only way they could to get in.
No, sewers are full of alligators
Maybe she likes bees
And Ninja Turtles.
and Ninja Turtles.
And honey.
So yeah, I definitely think she believes that she's in control of the city, but I think somebody is, whether she knows it or not, somebody is manipulating.
Oh, it's Mephisto. It has to be Mephisto.
The storyline with the kids and everything that's happening, I mean, it
or
does line up with
or they
comic
bring
books.
in Doom.
Not like this.
Doom is epic level. I mean, Doom is the end of an Easter egg on a trailer epic level in a movie. They're not going to bring him in through WandaVision. I mean,
If they did, I mean, that would be...
FF5s get ready to
They
explode.
hear Disney would be... I mean, that'd be crazy if they did that. No one has ever done that on a TV show.
But here's the thing: is this is the lead into Multiverse of Madness, the next Strange movie,
Yeah,
right?
Which we're a long way from.
And Scarlet Witch is in that movie.
Yes,
she's
and that's
confirmed.
She's also in Spider-Man now, too.
Yeah,
So.
and that's what I'm saying. Is Doom would be
I
good
think
villain for that.
I think Doom.
I think we know that, Kong is the next probably bad
He's
guy.
Ant-Man. Kang.
King, yeah,
Kong.
King. I don't know
Godzilla
why I said
punches
King.
him in the face.
I've been watching too many trailers for Godzilla and King Kong. King, but I think he's probably our next
Big bad?
somewhat bad guy.
I don't think he's going to be a big level guy.
or she is.
He or she, whatever.
However,
No,
they
no,
decide to go
I'm
about
just
that.
saying, or Scarlet Witch is
Yeah.
the next big bag.
So some of my theories into this, I think that they skipped. Well, one, we know that they had to push Bucky and Falcon because of filming stuff because of COVID, and it's a lot more intricate film than this. I mean, this 10 characters you can build a set inside of a I can never have to go outside again.
That we've seen so far.
Yeah.
We've seen.
It's gonna
the
expand.
trailers have shown a lot more exterior.
It's going to expand tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
Or today,
it's,
when you hear
what,
this.
let's see, we've covered the 50s, 60s, 70s, and now we're into 80s. Is what I mean. This next show will be the 80s.
Yeah.
But my theory is this is the perfect opportunity to Marvel to introduce mutants or to find a way to introduce some kind of mutants. But my thoughts on this is, do the twins survive this story? Because, in the comic books, she does create her twin boys out of nothing, and they just show up as teenagers. Mm-hmm. And then you find out later on that they're actually Scarlet Witch and Vision's children.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't figured out how Vision would get anybody pregnant, but maybe this is how that happens.
Magic.
She just wills it.
Yeah.
But does Vision survive this? When at the end of this, is this the end of Vision? Does like Vision have to make a choice? Like, I have to stay dead. I have to remain gone.
Well, and there's also been rumors of Nathan Fillion's character, which was
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man, which of course goes into the very first
Yeah.
Vision of the comic. So there's some theory out there that we may actually see him some way, shape, or form
Well, Wonder Man,
creating a new Vision.
Yeah, because the Vision that Wanda's in love with was actually Wonder Man, I think, living inside of Vision's body. They were
Yeah.
merged.
Yeah,
Right.
And so
That's-
we've never seen that.
Yeah, and so they're saying that there may be some way, shape, or form that we see that.
God, if Nathan Fillion was to show up as Wonder Man, would that be cradle robbing? Because he's like 30 years older than her.
And they,
Well,
and
so
they-
is
and
Paul
they-
Bettany.
And they dropped little Easter eggs of Grim Reaper, who is Wonder Man's brother.
right? Yeah.
You know, in the little animated sequence in the second episode, you kind of see his helmet in between floorboards, which is
Yeah.
dank. But
So, I mean, my thought is,
Also, the first commercial I was telling Tanner this the other day. You know how it was a toaster.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was when after their kids got taken away by Mephisto, and her and Vision were breaking up. She just, "You're nothing but a toaster." So it's kind of funny because that's what she called him in the comic books. All the little things,
Yeah.
It's kind of
yeah,
funny.
they're borrowing pretty heavily.
I think the commercials are like breaks in her personality. Like maybe, she's Stark Tech, Tony.
Maybe
I
that's
mean,
when she's sleeping.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe that's kind of like
I've
the
kind of-
moment where the reality starts breaking for her is those commercials.
I've kind of looked at the whole series so far as everything is a clue.
right.
Like, you just
Yeah.
have to scrutinize every little detail.
I think it's interesting that there's times when she's like, "Wait, what is happening?" And then when she wants to fix something, she's like, "Oh, I can fix this." So it's almost like she knows, but she doesn't know.
Well, and it's like when Rambo, she'll soon become Photon or whatever. She's Captain Marvel's best friend's daughter from the first Captain Marvel movie when she was a little girl. That's the same girl. Her character, when she came out of it, like all of a sudden she remembered, like she broke the spell that she was under to remember. And I think everybody there actually knows what's going on. They all know that they're trapped.
I think she knew the whole time, based
No,
on what the neighbor said.
I think when she had her break, that was when Quicksilver, that was the one that died in Sokovia.
she said it when she said it, she was like,
surprised she remembered, and then she got blasted out. Like Scarlet Witch could not deal with the idea.
I think her and Scarlet Witch are the only real people there. I think everyone else is a
construct.
part of a construct.
No, they
Because-
keep asking for help.
But the neighbor was hedging the cement fence.
well, so
but if
the-
they're
the-
broken,
Yeah, the only thing that trips that for me is the initial trailer when you see Agnes in the car. It's in I guess it's in the 80s. I guess maybe in
are
this
you
next
here to
episode.
help us?
Are you here to help? She and he's like, why are you looking at me like this? You're dead. She specifically calls him out as dead.
Not only that. When they're in episode 2, when they're at the little party gathering, and she cuts her hand, she's like, "Wait, who are you?" Like she pops out of the spell.
Yeah.
So I think Scarlet Witch put a bubble, and again, if you saw the trailer, you would know kind of why it talks more about the bubble.
Yeah.
And she's basically taken over this small town, but no one in the known universe outside of a handful of like intergalactical guys are actually strong enough to actually compete with Scarlet Witch, and they probably know that.
Right.
And Sword in the comic books is alien resistance, like they're built to stop aliens.
Now they're the special weapons observation.
Well, it's still
something.
sentient.
Weapon
Yeah.
observation.
So it's
So-
kind of just encapsulating
Yeah.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the rumor is that everybody in there is some form of super. That Agnes is Agatha Harkness. That what's his bucket? The neighbor that was grinding into the wall. He's the High Evolutionary, Herbert, whatever.
Oh man, if they bring the High Evolutionary this early, man.
Yeah, and that
Because-
Dottie is Arcana.
Because in the
what
comics,
I've
High
heard.
Evolutionary is who raised Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Right.
So
But so
don't-
I mean, he's pretty integral to their story. So to have him in there somehow.
Yeah.
So it could be all these superpowered beings that are basically being trapped, and so maybe it is Sword basically is using her to create a prison.
I really feel like they're going in to try to get her out. That's my feeling. Like they're trying to infiltrate, like the beekeeper, the bee guy that came out of the thing.
Only reason I don't think that they're trying to get her out is because every time you see Sword, it's in a very ominous sort of way.
like the pins being left around. And,
Yeah.
Well, and like the end of the first episode where you see the control room and it kind of zooming out, like it's kind of halfway creepy. It's not in a good sort of way.
And we know who that is.
wouldn't it be
already,
funny if
too.
it's arcade? Like,
yeah.
like arcades running the show.
Westview's
They need
Murder
to
World.
they need to save that and do Avengers.
Well,
Arena.
I mean, if you saw the trailer, I mean, you kind of already knew. You should know. But if you didn't know who that was watching the video, I mean, it shows it. If you knew who the castings were for the TV show, you should know who the person is watching the video.
Yeah.
But they do show it in the
Is
trailer.
it Viggo Mortensen?
No.
Oh.
No, it's
Did you not see the trailer?
I did see the trailer, but
It's Darcy.
oh yeah,
yeah, Darcy's
Yeah,
in
it's
it, and then
it's Jane Foster's assistant.
and then the voice over the radio is the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Correct. Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Agent.
it's the guy from Off the Boat TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh off the boat.
Which funny, he's also in the DC universe movies as
Is
well.
he?
Yeah, he's got a small role in the
Oh, okay.
DCU.
I think he's the new Coulson. I think he's going to be the new Coulson. I don't know.
Yeah.
Think they'll ever bring Greg Clark back. I think they're going to always just deem Agents of Shield as kind of a multiple reality because it just got so off topic and kind of untied. I think that
Yeah, I think
Agents
after
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Thor Dark World, they really didn't tie into each other again.
that,
Civil War. They tied
Yeah,
in
a
Civil
little
War
bit,
with
yeah.
all the Hydra stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they did a little bit of tying in.
I know if you watched the episode right around Civil War, if you watched the episode before the movie, it spoiled the
Winter
movie.
Soldier, not Civil War.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, yeah.
It was pretty much done being attached.
Yeah, I just think that it got so far off topic. I think they're always just going to deem that as maybe like a 617 kind of situation where
Yeah.
everything kind of ran real parallel until
Well,
a
for
certain
sure,
point.
the last few seasons they did.
Yeah.
At that point, once they started time traveling and
Well,
jazz like that.
and you can't go back and introduce the Kree or the Inhumans with that much low tech, like technology CGI wise.
Yeah.
Because the Kree are gonna come, and the Kree have come.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like Agents of Shield. And then when we get to the Inhumans, I know that they basically just threw the Inhumans in the trash, but I still think the Inhumans have a chance to play a major role in the MCU.
I think
And
that's
they're
why
gonna
they
they're gonna have to move on from that entire TV show. And it wasn't bad. I actually liked the Inhumans show. I went to the theaters and watched the first 2
I
episodes.
forgot
But
they did that.
yeah, it was fun. Me and Reese went. But you're gonna have to trash that. I mean, everything about that was just thrown together. You can tell it was rushed. You can tell it was made for TV, and it should have been 3 less episodes.
Well, and the way it is, the way they made it, it's totally standalone and never have to tie into anything. So
Right.
if they do go back to it,
And nobody watched it anyway, so nobody knows. It's like that Fantastic Four movie from the 90s. Like, it happened, but
I watched
it didn't happen.
That was a fun movie.
I think you loaned it to me, and it's still sitting in my garage.
It's awesome. You guys should watch it.
Maybe we should
Highly recommend
maybe we should watch it and then have commentary.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
Chris talked about next Sunday actually coming up here, watching the Super Bowl, and just going live watching the Super Bowl and having commentary on the Super Bowl.
I would not recommend that because there was recently a law passed that makes illegally streaming stuff a felony.
we won't be
so-
streaming the show.
Okay.
We'll just
We'll
be
just
talking.
be talking. Basically, watch the show with us. Watch the game with us, kind of a deal.
And then we're going to
just
talk about
delay.
GameStop trades.
I know a lot about it, actually. I've been reading a bunch about it. So, all right. So next we were going to talk
We're going
about.
to talk about X-Men.
Yeah.
We're going to
The
talk about
series,
X-Men.
comic book series.
So I haven't caught up to this week's issue, but I've seen floating all over the place where Marvel has opened up. If you go to marvel.com X-Men vote or / X-Men vote, they are letting the fans vote on who's the last member of the X-Men team that they're putting together. Because Scott and Jean have left the Quiet Council.
Right.
And they have decided that they are going to put together an elite form of X-Men picking from the entire island. You don't really know, like, this issue has really nothing to do with that whatsoever. They just end up going and helping the Shi'ar.
So I think they're still completely picking the rest of the team.
Yeah,
Whoever voting is
So
going to be just the last one there.
I will say, if we get a chance to talk about it, though, Brett Booth, I think it's Brett or Brent.
He's got a very familiar style.
Well, he's a really famous 90s artist that
Yeah.
it's Brett, yeah. That's kind of not, he did like Whiplash and some other stuff for Image back in the day. I really like his art style.
I miss the style.
Yes, I
Me
mean,
too. I dig it.
Yeah.
I
The
opened
colors
it up
look
and I was
great.
like, man,
Lines
this is
are
my
great.
childhood right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you haven't got a chance, we won't be able to, I mean, we didn't pick any slides, but the art is phenomenal in this book. The colors are great. I think Alonso Carano or something like that, or I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's the inker.
The suits are great.
Adelso Corona.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I met him in a couple shows. We actually have a.
He just wouldn't learn his name.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody's name. Anna, sorry. But so we have 10 characters that we're voting on here. Yep. The first one's Banshee, who of course has been in X-Men off and on throughout his career. Polaris, she's also been in X-Men as well, but she's more known for being on X Factor.
Yeah.
Cannonball, he was in X-Men. He actually took on Gladiator and won. Yeah. Like, the Invincible Gladiator actually beat him. And Gladiator couldn't figure out how, and it's because Gladiator's entire power base is based on his confidence. And so he didn't knock out Cannonball in one swing. Cannonball just goes bloop and beat him.
Yeah, Cannonball, known for New Mutants and X-Force. Also known for New Mutants and X-Force is Sunspot.
Right, and Sunspot's been part of the X-Men as well, but it was very short-lived.
Yeah. They both had a run on the Avengers, too, at the same time.
Yeah,
when Hickman took over the Avengers.
Yeah, he really likes those characters. I remember that. Strong Guy, I don't think has ever been part of the X-Men. He was famous for being on X Factor. He showed up in New Mutants. He was the bodyguard of Lil Shanae. Is that how you
Lila Cheney.
Lila Cheney. I got that one way off.
Yeah. Who was a mutant. Another mutant performer.
Armor. She was a member of the X-Men in Astonishing X-Men run.
Yep.
The later part of the Astonishing X-Men run. If you also remember Wolverine and the X-Men, she was in a couple episodes of that.
Didn't watch it.
It's great. It's probably if it would have had a season 2, it would have gone down as the best cartoon for X-Men.
I think we're going to get to like episode 50, and there's still going to be some reference to Wolverine and X-Men.
Cyclops in a trench coat is stupid.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So if by then you have not seen it, it's
really on you.
Yeah.
Marrow, who at one point was part of the X-Men, but she was also at the same time voted the worst member of the X-Men at that time.
So now she's back up for election. She was also in Wolverine and the X-Men. Freaking cool.
She's been in quite a bit of things.
So Tempo is the only villain on this list.
She's MLF.
Yeah, she was Mutant Liberation Front. So that's kind of a unique, most people probably don't even know who she is if you're not a fan of the comic books from the 90s. Forge, he has been part of the X-Men, but he's always been like...
He was X Factor too for a little while.
He was definitely X Factor. He was a big part of X Factor. But for X-Men, he was always just that guy that was like Beast in the cartoons. Like, he's just in his lab all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, every cartoon I've ever seen him in, he was like support.
Is Dr. Nemesis on Krakoa? Is he alive? I just was thinking about X-Nerds.
I don't know.
I mean, I would, if there was a reason for him to be, and I would think he would, right?
I haven't really seen him recently. Dr. Nemesis.
I don't know.
Anyway, he's a great character.
The last person is Boom Boom. Boom Boom has been around since the New Mutants. She definitely went into X-Force.
Yeah. Did she came in the original they found her in the original X Factor team though, right?
Her first appearance, I believe, was X Factor 6 or 7.
Yeah.
She was found, I think, about the time Rusty and Skids were found.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful cover by Jay Anacleto.
Beautiful cover.
And we have another cover by Kel New.
I can probably get closer, but it's still going to be really small on their screen. And plus,
everybody just show it. Everybody.
People listening to us have no clue.
But all we know right now is only Cyclops and Jean Grey are on this team. Like,
now you see Storm kind of flying through the pages here, but she's not actually part of
Marauders,
that.
I believe.
Yeah,
and
she has her own team.
And the entire comic of X Factor is built around Polaris. I don't really think you can take Polaris off this team. Every other character on this list doesn't really have a place yet. Like, they don't have a team, but right now they showed the voting. Marvel did a 24-hour update, and it's Polaris in the lead by a lot, and then Banshee. Everybody else is at like 7%. Like, no one really has more than 7%. So leaving it up to the public means it's either going to be Polaris or Banshee.
Well, it sounds like people need to start GameStop in this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is funny because Campbell revealed his last cover for his X-Men, his new set, and of course it's Polaris and Banshee on the cover.
That's X-Men Legends, right?
X-Men Legends, yeah.
So who can successfully read Krakoan now without having to use the little translator?
I skip all the wordy pages without pictures.
I didn't realize they gave you like a translation thing.
And
all those 1 and 10s were actually translators.
Interesting.
Yeah. So in Powers of 10 and House of X, they they had
a
little
10.
they had a little letter decoder, and you can kind of you'll see their names are written sideways on the side,
Okay.
so you can kind of get some correl. I can sit there and look at it and kind of get an idea of what it's
We
supposed
know
to
who
say.
the biggest nerd in the room is, and it's not me. But you haven't seen Wolverine and the X-Men. It's one season, dude. 25 episodes.
Yeah, that's an oversized season right there.
Yeah,
I watched the first episode and was like, nope.
Really?
Yep. I didn't like how they wrote Cyclops.
Oh my lord!
Feel you, bro.
He had just dealt with his girl being blown up, and they couldn't find her.
I don't like it.
You're gonna have to deal with mopey emo Cyclops at some point.
I don't like it.
It's not any worse than Mopey.
I'd rather have Carrot.
Spider-Man. Have you seen the remake where they put him on top of Darth Maul when he's
No.
fighting Anakin, and he's fighting Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon?
No.
So yeah, it's like he's all into the little emo mode, and all of a sudden he turns over to the door and it opens up, and it's a scene where it's Darth Maul about to start the fight with both of them, and Padme comes up and they're both like, "We'll handle this," and he's like doing his little emo hair, and then pulls out the lightsaber, and he's like fighting the whole time. But yeah, somebody did the whole face app on top of him.
gosh.
It's freaking amazing.
Oh man, we need Kevin James to do more nerdy stuff so we can share those videos. So my vote, if I got to vote, which I will vote, but they're not going to listen. I've always liked Banshee as a character.
Yeah.
And I really liked when Cannonball was part of the X-Men because it was always, because he came up from New Mutants to X-Force, like it was like a graduating class. And I remember when he left X-Force to go to the X-Men, he was always so insecure about his place on the X-Men. And it was kind of a cool character development. I really don't care for any of the other choices in here, just because I really think that I don't want to see Polaris taken away for X Factor, because that to me tells me as a comic book store owner that they're probably about to kill that book. Like it's not selling enough, and they're probably going to kill the book. And Sunspot, and I've never really cared for Sunspot. I mean, even in the New Mutants movie, I was like, this is why I don't care for Sunspot. If you've seen the New Mutants movie, he's just a whiny little girl, little rich kid. and Strong Guy, he's just Strong Guy. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to have to at least rename him.
I think you got to think about when you're voting, what do you think that character is going to actually bring to the team? You know, so
Well,
Strong Guy. Strong Guy.
seeing as how there's only 3 of them right now, a lot, I guess.
of course there'll be a full round of team by the
Yeah.
time they get to that, but
we still don't. I mean, it's those two plus whoever we vote in.
that's what I say. These are the only 10 that we as fans have any
Yeah.
input on.
Yeah,
In story, they're going to probably vote on the rest of them, right? And I guess apparently, according to the story, it's an annual thing that the team will change every year.
Well, and I don't even
So-
think so. If the voting ends on February 2nd of 2021,
that's next Tuesday.
that means that the next issue's already written. So we're not going to find out who's on the X-Men team by 18.
Right.
And 19 maybe, but most likely 19's already being drawn.
It's probably
Right.
20 or 21.
But
What if
they
they
actually
sele-
skip an issue in April. There is no X-Men in April, so I wonder if that's what they're doing. They're gonna
They're waiting
let
for
the
this
vote happen, take the month off, and then announce it early May.
How far have they solicited so far?
We're to 19.
19.
19 is in
So
March,
then-
and there is no 20
So
solicited.
then more likely it is 20 then.
Yeah,
yeah,
If
so
that's the case.
we probably won't find anything out
Is
until
it-
the 20.
they usually try to stay about 2 books ahead.
And it could be
On the
that the
back.
next issues going into that are
this
you know,
is the search.
the lead up to
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
right?
You're going to see the
process
rest
of
of
the
the
voting
team
and
get
all that
filled in
stuff.
over the next
And then
2.
by the time they do it, a year will be up, and the
Right.
right.
Well,
once publishing goes down again.
What makes me happy though is, like, if they're saying this is going to happen every year, that means they have a commitment to Hickman for years.
Yeah.
You know, normally, I mean, we're into a little over a year and a half. Is that right? No, not even a year and a half into Hickman's run on X-Men. And normally by now,
started in July.
right? Powers of X and
Yeah.
House of X was in July,
Yeah.
and then
19,
X-Men
yeah.
1 came out in, was it 19 or it was 19,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're about a year and 4 months into this process.
Yeah,
Year-
should be longer than that, but COVID.
Yeah, COVID. We should be on this like issue 22 right now or something like that, but who cares? But where we are at is I'm just glad that they've committed to Hickman's run. I'm glad that they've committed to these other writers because Jerry Dugan is a great writer.
Mm-hmm.
The guy writing Excalibur writes a good story. I can't say his name. It's like Tiki something.
Trini Howard? No, it's Teeny Howard.
Teeny, yeah, there we go.
It's a female. She.
She has done a good job.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm really bad with the names. If Mike Perkins, if you ever watch this, shh. He makes fun of me all the time.
He did. He even recently.
Yeah,
He made fun of you on your Facebook.
Yeah, he reminds me every year on how bad I am at names. So I'm excited to see that there is a commitment to X-Men. Way of X is coming out.
Yep.
So you have new X titles coming out. Hellions. I wonder what's going to happen with Hellions because it also doesn't have an issue in April. But so far, most of the X-Men books have had a month that's missed.
Yeah.
Like during sort of the X, I think New Mutants missed an issue. X-Force missed an issue. So maybe it's just
Some of it's just getting pushed around here and there. Like Cable got delayed a month, So it's just kind of, I think some of it's just.
Well, Cable's falling farther and farther behind at this point. And I wonder if that just has to do with art.
Yeah, and so I think they're just trying to make sure that.
Because
Because a lot of the stories are still connecting in some way, shape, or form, so I think they want to try to still stay on that as much as possible.
Yeah, so
Well, and
Go
the way
vote.
that Ten of Swords left off, I mean, we know we're going to have another big crossover, at least in the
Oh, yeah.
fairly near future.
An annual crossover is just like a given now,
Yeah.
it seems like.
because we had Dawn of X and now we're to Reign of X. Like this, I think this begins. Last issue began Reign of X.
Yeah.
So Reign of X. If we're on the same calendar, this is going to be a 12 to 18 issue run, and then we'll be to probably Extinction Level X, like the end of the run. Like at the end of this, he's going to pull a Grant Morrison and just randomly kill Jean Grey again. That was the worst part. Like I already hated Grant Morrison's run on X-Men, but like his last, like as he's like waving goodbye, Magneto, not even the real Magneto, just pulse wave through Jean Grey. She dies. She just survived the sun. Her and Wolverine were sucked into the sun, and she survived, and she died to a electronic pulse to the heart. So I was real upset with that.
And then somebody's going to nuke Krakoa, and they'll be...
Genosha Sentinel will be revived and
Yeah.
wipe out everybody but 199 mutants.
And they'll be back in Westchester because status quo.
Right. Because the movie will put them there.
Speaking of moving... Look
Cake?
at that.
Yeah,
Look at
well,
that.
this is a mock-up that Chris made.
Yep. Yeah, so pretty exciting news, hopefully. We are finalizing this just in a couple days from now.
Monday.
Well, it's finalized. We just got to put our name on paper.
Yeah, so we're real excited to be moving into an actual retail space, and this is kind of what we're looking at as far as what the front of the building will look like when you pull up to the store.
Yeah.
So those of you that are listening,
All
you can
12
see
of
it
you.
on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Darren, tell us the story of why it's finalized.
So we've never committed to something this big financially on a monthly basis outside of conventions where you know you're going to make your money back. Because it's 12,500 square feet sitting outside a mall. So financially speaking, for me in Amarillo, it's a huge number. Now, for someone in California, they're like, I pay that on my 12-foot
Yeah,
building.
they'd probably be laughing at the lease we're getting, like, oh, I would have signed that in a heartbeat.
I'd move there. So I've been on the fence. We've been thinking about this for a while now. We actually started calling around last week, and we finally decided we were going to call in this Lifeway building.
And this is probably
So-
the third or fourth time we've looked
Yeah.
at things in the last year.
Yeah.
So.
This
been-
for people that aren't in Amarillo, this is a large unit inside of a strip mall near pretty much
mall.
our last mall.
Yeah. The last mall.
It's in our shopping district area.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's across from a Target. There's a Barnes & Noble across the street. There's
Yeah.
a Kohl's, a Bed Bath & Beyond, a Home Depot.
Super close to where the new
right next to the major highway.
Yeah, super close to where the new land's gonna.
Yeah, I
be
mean,
building.
it'll be about 8 minutes from the land.
yeah, new warehousing.
So I'm sitting there and I'm on the fence about this. I got the number. The number, they came down to my bid, but then they added that damn triple net. And that triple net, like, I hate triple net. I wish people that wanted to
What?
do.
Okay, explain that to me. I don't
So so they'll give you a price per foot. Like this isn't I'm not going to tell the numbers here, but like a lot of places we've looked at is $18 a square foot per year. So you divide that out, you multiply by the square footage, and you divide it by 12, and that's your rent. But they always they'll just tack on this little secret triple net thing.
So,
you have your set
the
rate.
18 per square foot does not include triple net.
It does not include this triple net.
That's just rent.
The triple net is basically they want you to pay their taxes, their insurance, the parking lot, upkeep on the building. So you're paying them rent plus any expense they would have to be there.
So basically, everything you used to pay rent for is no longer paying that. You're just paying that to be there.
Right.
And you're also paying for all the stuff
It's
your
like-
rent used to pay for.
So it comes out to your rent and then another half about whatever your rent's going to be. It's a little under half of that.
Now this is standard everywhere.
Yeah, this is standard everywhere. So you're really paying whatever the number they give you first. Just divide it by about 40% and add that on, and that's going to be your real rent.
Yeah.
So, she showed me all the numbers, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. We came down to my number, and it's okay. And then she added the triple net in there. I was like, wait, that's more than my number. Shit. And so, like, I've been sitting with that all day. Like, we went to lunch, and I'm just looking at that number. I'm like, this is over my budget. But it wasn't. It was marginally over my budget.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't like.
But it was.
That's not happening.
It was just a shock because I didn't expect triple net to be so much. It's like $3,300 for just the triple net.
Wow.
And per month.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and we come back to the store, and I'm like, well, I'm really on the fence about this. So I'm over next door working orders, trying to get stuff shipped, and I go to the bathroom. And if you don't know anything about this building sucks. And not because the building sucks. It's just old, and it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and someone's in the bathroom next to me, and I'm sitting there, doing what I'm needing to do. And they flush the toilet next to me. Like in the bathroom behind me, in the girls' bathroom, and the water comes up and strikes me.
You just got the bidet service.
Yeah, Darren got his own bidet, and it wasn't the clean water bidet.
Yeah, it's not clean. It's not clean water. At this point, because this is the second time in 3 months that this has happened to me, I immediately, I try to flush the toilet, and of course it doesn't flush. And I immediately just come next door and say, "We're in. I just want this. I'll come sign the lease." I was done.
Yep.
Like. There was no bitterness. There was no am I on the fence? I was just like, this is God saying it's time.
Yep.
It's like I got sprayed in the butt.
When you get toilet water in your anus, that just solidifies any decision ever.
So that is actually how we came to this decision.
The final decision.
That was the final decision. Is I got sprayed in the butt by toilet water.
So real quick, when you've been in this new facility, have you flushed the toilets?
There's no water in the toilets because it's been vacant for 4 years.
So here's the thing. So basically, they don't want water sitting just in the porcelain.
Yeah.
We have really, really hard water here in Amarillo, so it would,
Yeah.
So and every time I walk in the new building, I immediately have to pee.
Yeah.
I walk in the door and I'm like, I have to pee now.
There is running water. It's just not turned on. So
Right.
if you needed to, you could go in there and actually turn the water on to it. But
So now, in all seriousness, let's talk about some of the things we're going to do at this new location.
Pee.
Pee.
The bathrooms will work,
not be
customers.
bidet.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is for most of our customers, they're not going to care about this new location, but
I think they will.
Our online customers.
Our online customers.
our
will
online
care.
customers will not care. But
If it makes us more efficient, then
Now, I think they will. I think we make it to where it's a little it's a big deal just to come to Amarillo to come here.
Make it an experience, and then that's what.
and we already have quite a few people that do that. And, it's really awesome.
So the big thing about Unknown Comics is, it is always. I ran a retail store from 2011 to 2014, and I really, really struggled with the idea of going back and being retail again after doing that, because if you've ever owned a store or if you've ever worked a retail where you actually encourage people to linger around, you really are just a bartender for sober people with a lot more awkward stories to tell.
and then you get the preteens in that you're like sitting there hawking over because you don't know when they're going to try to steal something.
Well, not only that, you need a Febreze sprayer.
Yeah.
Like the way we're gonna do this building, because it has like the door and then the second door. We're just gonna have a mist that you have to walk through, and they would not even know. It's just gonna be they're gonna be Febrezed as they walk in.
They could know. It could just be a decovider.
Right? Yeah. Why does it smell flowery? That's it. COVID runs away from flowers. I don't know.
Yep.
So we haven't focused. Like we've been open to the public for 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
But our problem with being open to the public is it's always looked like trash. I mean, our booth at any given shows looked 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
But we never put any effort into it. Like it was like,
well, it wasn't that we didn't.
We didn't put any effort into it.
And the reason for that is because we don't have the manpower time.
Right.
Right. And it takes so much work to.
And someone keeps moving boxes and setting them in the middle of the way.
Well, I'm a shipping store, sir. So, and I tell people, because if you come in the store now and you need to be checked out, I immediately say, I'll go get you somebody, because that's not my dream. And that's really the case. Like, that's how I feel, and I'm excited to do the store thing, but we will have employees that will do all of that. But, Chris has just really, really wanted to do this retail side, and I've avoided it, and I've avoided it, and I've avoided it, but over the course of the last year, we're really running out of new things to get into.
Well, for us, for the comic side, having a retail space is just a bonus. It's nice to facilitate for your local people. For the gaming side, a retail space is critical.
And I want to say this in politeness to the things that are around us. Sometimes the game rooms are an afterthought to those stores and just it looks not very good.
Right.
And I've always hated the idea of that. When we had our store the first time, the game room looked good. We cleaned, we mopped, we kept the tables, cleanliness. We put stuff away.
Well, and I even think it goes more beyond cleanliness. Why do you think I volunteered to paint terrain for you guys? Because the finished terrain looks so much better than just cardboard sitting on tables.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it's functional, who the crap cares?
I care.
The bat reps will care.
Well, and so in doing this, like I even talked about like the wood tables. We make really nice sturdy tables. And I told Chris I want the tables to have a finished look to them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to look like wood. We've already started talking about getting tablecloths that are custom tablecloths with like
the whole
discard
thing,
things.
clothing it
and-
all. Yeah.
Well, even if they are wood, finished, stained and finished too would be
Yeah,
good.
and I want to be able to host
Yeah.
10 tables worth of games at one time and go back to hosting, being able to have 40 players like or more. Back when I had the Tables Edge, we would have 100 to 150 people in the store on a Friday night. That was normal. By the way, the seating capacity of the new building is 172. So we're going to have to watch that. It's on the window. 172. But, I mean, we really want to build it to be a destination.
That'll change, but that'll change once you put walls and stuff in too, though.
Shut your mouth, because that means it goes down.
More than likely.
I'm going to punch you.
Which is funny that you say that because this is 2 times bigger than the location we had.
Yeah.
We probably broke a lot of rules in that old location.
But even when it had that many people, I mean, it seemed full, but it never seemed
No,
like
it
you
didn't
had
seem like
too
super
many
packed.
people.
When we had Rumble the second time, that was about the only time that I was just like,
Fire marshal comes in, we're screwed.
I was like, it's getting tight.
Not
Now.
only
But we had,
and
but
there's so many
most of
drunk
that space was because we had 4x8 toppers sitting on top of the card tables.
Right.
You know, so the tables were taking up more of the room than people were.
Yeah.
So
But with this new store, so we're going to have a really, really decked out game room.
yeah,
That's the goal, is to really have a nice game room. And then to go from the game room, we actually want to have an entire wall dedicated to, like, you can come in and actually see our exclusives. If you've ever been in our store, you've probably never actually seen our exclusives. You have to know what they are online. You don't
Yeah.
even know we carry exclusives.
yeah.
And,
Well,
and
I
that's
don't
being
know
the largest exclusive dealer in the world.
I don't know that we have any exclusives in the retail side.
I don't think
outside
so.
of what's
You-
sitting in the offices here.
Yeah, you just had to go next door to grab the ones from this week because
Yeah.
they're not even out for this week's people. But our goal is to change that and actually be able to display this week's stuff and to be able to have it out with the weekly books and to be able to focus on
Well,
that.
and like I remember asking Chris because just because I'm proud of the store, if it's a book that I'm already getting and we're gonna have an exclusive for it, I want the exclusive.
Right.
And I was like, so how's the best way to get that like on my pool box so I know I get it? He's like, well, just go over there and get it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and really the biggest reason for that is because it's not in the system.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
you know,
there's nothing that tells my employee, hey, put that in my box.
Right.
So
But so all that to be said, this location is right off of I-40, which is one of the main highways, is the main highway that runs through Amarillo, east and west. And so it'll be on the west side of Amarillo, pretty much right before you leave town. And
There's a Fazoli's if you want to eat too.
yeah, there's
there's all
Fazoli's.
kinds of restaurants over
Yeah,
there.
There's a
it's just
Fazoli's.
It's a hot spot.
it's just a good area of town for us to be in, especially for people traveling.
For someone Brandon's age, there's an Applebee's.
Yeah.
And we had a long time ago, there was another game store there that we've talked about, in our
Games Plus?
past stories. But even it was kind of more in like a little bit more closed off part of this little same section.
It was
we're
right
like-
next to Toys R Us.
Well, it was
Yeah,
it
but-
was
and
in
their
that-
prices were more expensive. Like, so people would just go buy stuff from Toys R Us and then
Yeah.
go play cards over there.
It was in two places in that same building.
Yeah.
Right.
It was next to the recruiting places first.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they moved around the
is
corner
Target.
where
Well,
iMart is now.
But while it was Games Plus, it stayed there. But when Game Masters bought Games Plus, they moved.
I think it was Games Plus before they moved to where iMasters is. But Anyway.
Okay, well,
But
interview
either way,
time.
the big thing is where we're at compared to where they are. Even though it's very, very
Yeah.
similar
It was-
location, what we're going to go into here is a premier location. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
yeah, I mean,
you'll see it from Sansi.
Yeah, you can see. Well, you can see it. I filmed today. I did a live video, and I could see the traffic. I could see semis on the overbridge on.
Yeah.
For our area, there's never been, and really, I'm thinking about like going to other cities and other places. You don't see a comic book store where we're about to be.
Yeah, I mean
No.
Which is crazy.
The best located comic book store, sadly, was in a mall that was dying, and that's the one that was in
Carlsbad?
Oceanside.
Yeah,
or Carlsbad.
What's crazy is how many comic book stores out there are going to have 2 studios in them.
Oh yeah, we'll have 2 studios in the back, all back of the bus.
That makes Tanner and I
yeah,
very
full-blown
happy.
We're
pressing,
gonna-
conferencing.
We're gonna put up. I found a spot where they walled off an old wall that we're gonna put a projector so people can play video games on this wall. It's gonna look really cool.
or have movies, things like that playing. So
We
pretty
have
cool.
a designated signing area that we're gonna have. We're gonna have original art up everywhere, so you can actually come in and check out a lot of the original covers. You won't be able to touch them.
It'll be too high.
It'll be too
So
high.
so with this, Darren. So we've told everybody what the plans for the new land and everything is. Does this change any of your plans for that land?
No, because the only thing that's going to change is no, it doesn't, because the land is out in the country.
Yeah.
Now, for me, from the land to this new building, it's about 8 minutes.
Right.
But nobody's going to want to drive out to the middle of nowhere
retail.
for retail.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to go out. So I have no intentions on ever not having a store in Amarillo. That's kind of been what we've talked about this whole time, is once we do move, we'll still have to have a location here. What this does is it actually speeds up the process of building a bigger customer base here. So when we do get out there and have the event center and big special things happen,
People know we're here.
people know we're here and they know where that stuff is at.
But just think how big the retail space is going to be once you get shipping moved out to the new land too.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Well,
that's a big thing here is the fact that we're going to be using this for bits and parts of the business.
Yeah.
But eventually that'll just mean we'll have more room for gaming, more room for retail over there,
and
that's going to be even better.
yeah. And
So-
what we've walled off and what we're going to be doing over there will eventually just become, when we're done with it for shipping, it's just going to become D&D rooms. We're going to reconvert them to D&D rooms and let people have rooms to play in. So I mean, everything we're doing is going to have a plan.
We should put
escape
bunks,
rooms.
We should put bunks in there for people.
And that's what many Wargamers
Yeah, but
does.
just don't tell people that we're actually putting like sleeping areas. In.
Well, and as I said on my Facebook Live video on Facebook today, this is Unknown Comics Retail number 1. This is not going to be the only one. This is the only one maybe in Amarillo.
Yeah.
But we do have plans on expanding outside of Amarillo, especially the cities that we already do conventions in. So this is just one of hopefully many over the next 10 to 20 years that we plan on putting in. But we have to learn how to do it first, like everything else. It took us
We're going to get the process.
It took us 4 years to learn how to do the website stuff the right way.
Yeah.
The year 1 was building it out. Year 2 was growing and expanding. Well, growing and expanding caused us to fall really far behind. Year 3 was learning new processes. Year 4 was learning how to deal with COVID. So we had to change everything that we did. And year 5 is working on retail. I mean, and I would imagine we need 2 to 3 years of retail, and then we can start looking at expanding. Well, I'm only going to be 40 this year, so that's plenty of time. I got at least 15 more years in me.
COVID couldn't kill you.
It tried.
It tried.
It tried. Who knows? I do think I might die.
It just made him angry.
Angry.
He didn't turn green though.
I've always been angry. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see the how the staff flourishes. I'm excited to see how the community flourishes, because I truly do believe.
If you build it, they will come.
I believe that, and
In the nerd universe for sure. You know,
and I
just
believe
the way
that
it is.
we're lacking a safe place for people to go. That was how we built our community the first time at Table's Edge.
I think that's a huge deal in Amarillo.
because
I stopped going to the stores after tables stopped to be a thing because there was nowhere to go. That wasn't just
we didn't want people to come in there and be like, "Oh, I don't fit in here."
Yeah, well, I mean, our thing was like if there was kids under 18 and it was during business hours, no language. It was if there
Clean
was
up after yourself. And
be respectful,
Yeah.
and we
Just
don't
take care
have
of your
any store in
business.
Amarillo that does that, enforces those rules.
Yeah.
And you either like our rules or you go play at one of the other stores that has no rules, and you lose out on all the fun that we produce.
Yep.
Others matter.
Yes.
So who's going to have to do Magic singles? Not it.
Whoever I hire to do it. That
Whoever we hire to do it that gets paid by us.
by minimum wage.
There's not running their own sub business
Correct.
out of your store. Yeah.
So we're excited to see how that happens. That actually comes into one of the things that we want to do in the new building is signings. Now, none of these signings will be in this new building because we haven't discussed it, but we do have 3 pretty incredible signings coming up. The first one, which you're going to see this next week, so we've already launched this, so you won't even get you'll have
We'll
missed
see
it
it tomorrow.
It'll be later today.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will launch this, and a few hours after this video launches on YouTube, we will do our live sale.
So if you happen to watch this before our live sale
Yes.
starts,
On Friday.
our first live sale pre-order stuff is for Benjamin Percy
January 29th,
and which Kubert
2021.
Adam Kubert. So we're doing a pre-order for those today, apparently.
If you don't
tomorrow.
January 29th, 2021.
If
Darren's brain's getting quantumly entangled right now. I don't know.
I'm so confused.
I'm living in
This
two
is how
times
they
at
wrote
once.
the Ant-Man movie.
So our first signing's tomorrow. This not signing, pre-order. So we're
Pre-order.
going to offer books that you can offer. We don't think we're going to be able to take submissions for CGC on this one because I don't believe there's going to be enough time.
pretty quick turnaround on
But
this
hopefully
one.
we get
you
the
kind of
dates.
hit me by surprise with it.
Yeah, no. Hey, it's your first week full time. Woo! But really what we're hoping is we can get a finalized date tomorrow because tomorrow is supposed to be the date that's given. If the date gives in and it's 3 weeks from now, we'll be able to take submissions. We'll let y'all know. But if it's in 2 weeks, there's just not enough time. We can't process that stuff. The next signing we're going to have, and I'm super excited about this because as an X-Men fan, the last year and a half has been awesome, is Jonathan Hickman. We're going to go to Jonathan Hickman on March 20th. We will be taking submissions. It's going to be an awesome time. We won't be able to do video that I know of.
Are you going to Florida for that one?
South Carolina.
March 20th.
March 20th.
Watch out for them
2021.
lizard people.
Huh?
Watch out for them lizard people.
All right. If someone bites me, do I get mutant powers?
Maybe. I
Did
don't know.
y'all see that thing?
It wouldn't
on-
be mutant powers if you got it from
So
being bitten.
I saw an article.
Spider-Man.
That because Australia, everything about Australia wants to kill you, right? And
Yeah.
there's like this really poisonous spider there that apparently bites people all the time. And the headline of the story was Australian man gets bit on the penis for the second time in his life. So
I'm not moving there.
yeah, it was always
Makes
like a
you rethink
dream
that visit
destination for
thing.
me to go to Australia. And I'm really kind of thinking like everything there wants to kill you.
You going to Australia? That's just nuts.
Oh, I see what you did there. So we have Jonathan Hickman on March 20th of 2021. We will be doing a pre-order, submissions. We're also going to be probably trying something new with how to submit books and how to even order for the pre-orders for this event.
Yeah, I think me and Amy are going to get together and do a video on
How
to
do that,
properly
yeah.
submit, so that way it's easier for everybody.
And we're hoping to have, we'll discuss it more later, but we're hoping to have a whole different way of being able to pre-order during our pre-orders for just these events. Because the way that we've been doing it, like everything we do, we try to improve the process, and it's a little bit
Streamline.
streamline the process. And then my favorite one, because it means that we get to go to Hawaii, is we're going to go see David Nakayama at the end of March. We don't have a set like actual date,
Yep.
but we know that it's at the end of March. We're gonna, as soon as I get back from Hickman, probably take a day, get everything packed up, wash my laundry, and then we are going to head to Hawaii, and we're going to see David Nakayama and hang out with David Nakayama for probably 3 days.
Nice.
Now, we possibly have a couple guys coming here. Or is that not set in stone enough to talk about?
I'm not going to even say that until like a plane ticket is purchased.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that's just the way that's going to be because this has
Okay.
been talked about for like a year. So we're not gonna say that until we know that it can happen. But those are 3 of our big signings.
Those are 3 pretty big signings.
Those
though.
are 3 pretty big signings, and one way or another, we will have another chance at Stegman and Kate's. But we'll probably end up in Sarasota, Florida for that one. I know that they'll do a Facebook Live video with us if we go there, so we'll be able to actually talk with them, and maybe Donnie, like Donnie does, will leak all of his secrets to the world.
Well,
So-
and we're always trying to improve how we can do remote streams too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and hopefully we have the new cameras so we can take one of the better cameras with us instead of just working off of that little GoPro thing.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a way to get you better cameras, get you some lights with you, so you're not using hotel lamps.
Mm-hmm.
So we covered saying hello. We covered WandaVision.
He's just going down our list now.
Yeah, I am.
Really, what that means is I need to close the show.
Hold on.
No, we still have one more thing.
We still have
What?
one more thing.
YouTube content.
Yes, I was getting
Why
to that.
are you closing the show?
That is the close.
Why can't I read the list to make sure we covered everything?
Wow, he just tried to can
We
it.
covered the X-Men vote, the new building, upcoming signings.
You see the frustration on his face. He's in the bottom right corner.
Don't touch me.
I love you.
They're not supposed to know
being
you're right
re-
next to each other.
being recorded.
We're in a pandemic.
Oh yeah, you're an employee. I have to be careful. No lawsuits here, gentlemen. Look at his face. If you could see his face right now through that microphone, I'm pretty sure that you could witness a murder here. Very
Tanner,
soon.
what do we have to look forward to on YouTube?
So if you go on our YouTube now, you can see we've posted our first of our final order cutoff top 10 picks. We released that earlier today. It's been a pretty big hit. We're going to be doing more content like that, more top picks. We might be getting into some lore videos, unboxings, all that good
We're
stuff.
gonna have other top picks. We're gonna have some stuff about.
We have a Thunderhawk for you guys to open for GW.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff for the gaming channel as well. So there'll be a lot of really cool stuff coming to our YouTube channels.
So, again, thank you so much for watching all those videos, liking and subscribing. It helps us out greatly. Definitely keep posted on the YouTube channel. We have a lot more great stuff coming on both the normal Unknown Comics channel and the Unknown Gaming channel as well.
And remember, Grogu is the way.
Okay, and if you want to find us on social media, of course, Facebook, facebook.com/unknowncomicbooks, Instagram @unknowncomicbooks, Twitter, @unknown_comics, and of course, you can listen to this podcast on all the fun podcast channels like Audible, iTunes, and Spotify. So, subscribe, follow us, do all the fun stuff.
Do all the things.
And we're going to get an artist. I think I've decided to do little cartoon characters, especially of Tanner.
I talked to Chris
Yeah.
about getting that done the other day.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be kind of funny to do
Because,
too.
just to have Tanner with his beard. That's everybody can have a caricature, but Tanner has to be first.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.